Here we go. Yeah, here we go. There's one person. Kyle's joined us. As I said in my last email, no lab this week. No lab, I shouldn't say this week, just today. We had a lab yesterday, we had a lab on Monday, but no lab today. I have a doctor appointment shortly, so I got to shoot from here and go see the doctor. Excuse me. Okay, so a question came up last time, and someone said, um, on the homework assignment, there was a couple of people sitting in the back there that were having a little hard time with the homework assignment that's due this week. And one person was in the class, you know what I recommend, because he did the work. He said, watch the videos from week 3. Because if you watch the videos, you won't have any questions. I said, really? He goes, yeah, because I guess I answered them in week 3, explaining a lot of the stuff. There's 6 or 7 videos in week 3. If you watch them, they should explain to you what see in, see out, and include and all that, So in the first 2 assignments, if you've done the homework assignment, the first 2, it says you're missing this line, put it in. You're missing that statement, put it in. If you remember, I said every program that we write, let me just open here. Every program that you go to write is going to have the same set of commands before we do anything. The first one, pound include. So if you look at homework 1, it says the first question, homework 1 and the homework 2, they have add the include statement, basically. I/O stream, input, output streaming, like back and forth, video streaming, the signal will go back and forth. This is input, output, between the input and the output. So you got to have that statement there. You got to have using namespace. STD, standard, meaning when you define a variable, you're going to follow the standard for defining the name for them. Like it cannot begin with the number. It has to begin with the letter. You can have a number in it. There's certain reserved words that you can't use. You should have int main in it. And open close parentheses. You should have a curly bracket and return 0 before you close the bracket. Every program that we write should have these pieces in it. So on homework 1 and 2, they'll said, include that statement, include that statement, include this statement. You got to put them in. You got to go and type them. So if you didn't do homework 1, you'll see the first 2 questions. That's what you have to do. 3rd and 4th, you got to write a program, So let's say, for example, you want to calculate the area of a circle. Area of a circle is pi r squared. Pi r squared. So you're going to need what? You need the radius. So pi never changes. So when you define a variable declarations, and on the homework assignment, that says define these variables. And can r be a decimal value? Yes. So your option either float or double. Float means you can have up to 7 decimal places. Double, you can have up to 16 decimal places. Double, single precision, double precision. So to define that, I will usually tell you on the homework assignment, use double, use float. So if I said use double, you'll say double r for the radius and comma, maybe the area. Pi is a constant. That doesn't change. So if you want to make sure that doesn't change, you type CONST, constant pi equals 22.0. I don't know exactly. I can look on my phone, actually. What is pi? iPhone gives you about 16 digits. If you turn it to scientific, what is pi? I know somewhere here, pi. I'm just blind, but I'm sure it's right there staring at me. I just don't see it. I see pi. Here we go. here we go. 3.14159.265. 3589. 793. That's what my phone gave me. There's more to it. But now, once you define that as constant, CONST, you cannot change that value. So if you go in your program and you type, for example, pi equals pi, or pi equals pi plus 1, that's a syntax error. If I go and save this, what should we call this? February 4th? February 4th. And I go and compile and run. Oh, I forgot to say double here. Constant double. It's a constant value. I got to tell them, is it an integer value? Is it double value? Constant mean can't be changed. So now I save this one. And if I go run it, I should get a syntax error. Compile and run. And you can't change it. Once you define something as constant, it cannot be changed. If you want to change it, you have to go to that statement right there and change the value right here. But it can't be changed in the program. So I think on the homework assignment, I said define two variables constant, integer. You say constant int, num1, num2. You want to calculate the area? Well, that means we need the radius, right? We can assign the radius. We can say r equals double. I'm assuming that's a decimal value. R, let's say equals 5.2. I can do that. And that will make R 5.2. The problem with that, not every program is going to have a value of R 5.2. I'm trying to shut it off here. There we go. So instead of doing that, I'm not going to do that. What are we going to do? We're going to read the value. So if I say C out, that means C is the C language, out coming out of the computer. Enter the radius. I want it to be user-friendly. Enter the radius. I want it to tell the user, type that statement on the screen. And it's going to wait for me till I read it. Let's read this one. CN. C again for the C language, N going into the computer. Read the value of R. So whatever number you type in, it's going to go into location R. Now you want to calculate the area. Area equals pi times R squared. R times R. Pi R squared. And you want to print the area? C out. The area, double quotation. I want to write this statement. The area is, and I want to write the area now. Oh. Oh. Oh, I got it. Oh, oh, that's backspace. I thought that's the arrow. I thought it was less than that arrow, but it's really going back. That's not backspace. The arrow is pointing. Here we go. I want to write the area. And when you finish writing that, go to the next line. End L means go to the next line. And this actually will calculate the area for me. So if I save this and run it, give it a second. It's going to ask me for the radius. I'm going to type in the radius, enter the radius, 4.2567. I don't know. Hit enter. The area is 56.9241. What about if you're going to read somebody's name? Like Z Haddad. City, where do you live? Well, there's a problem with that. Let's ask for the name, see out, enter customer name.
Excuse me, Professor.
Yes.
I don't know if it's just me. Are you sharing your screen?
Nope. I just thought of it now.
I've been following along, so it's been fine, but I was
Yep, I
it'd be
forgot.
easier.
Thank
Thanks.
you for reminding me, actually. Yeah, if you type it actually in the chat, I probably won't see it because I'm actually, I have my machine full blown on C++. Here we go. Now you should see it.
Thank you. That's easier.
Yeah, thank you. Yep. Yeah, sometimes I forget, so don't just sit there and wait for me to remember. Just flag me. If you type in the chat again, 9 out of 10 times, I'm probably not going to notice it. Enter customer name. And now you want to read the name. If you go CN, name. I didn't define name, so I got to tell the machine, well, name is not going to be a number. So this is going to be a string. So let me define lowercase string name. So you can type in Z Haddadnet. Let's see. And let's see out that. See out. Your name is, and let's type in the name. And go to the next line. So I'm going to ask for the name, read the name, and spit it back. Let's see if it's going to work. Let me compile and run. Enter the radius. I can type in any number, 2.3. That's the first part. It's going to give me the area. Then it's going to ask me for the name. And I write Z. And it says, your name is Z. Your name is Z. It took the name and spit it back. Well, let me run it again. And let's put a radius of 4.5. Let me type in my name, Z Haddad. Ready for that? We're going to have a problem. It's going to read Z. It's going to read up to the space till you have a blank. So if you write Z Haddad, it's not going to read Z Haddad, it's going to read Z. So you have a couple of options. You can say enter first name and last name and read F name for first name and L name for last name. That's one way. So really the read statement or the CN statement for the string, if there's a space in it, it doesn't work. And what happens if somebody has 3, 4 names? You don't know how many names the person has. So you don't want to say enter first name, second name, third name, fourth name. International students, sometimes they have like a whole line of them, of names. If you look at my passport, it has about 10 names in it. It's always your name, your father's name, your grandfather's name, his father, his father, his father, his father, till you fill the whole line. So how do you fix that? So instead of using the CN for a string, so this is really not the best way to read the string. if you have spaces in it. So how are you going to do that? One way to do it is called get line. It reads the whole line. Get line. And you're going to read, so you're going to say, still going to say CN, comma, and where are you going to put it? Name. Read the line. So let me save this one. And let me compile and run. Enter the radius, 4.5. And now enter the name. Oh, your name is. What happens here? Notice it skipped the whole thing. It did skip the whole thing. That's because it took the enter as my name. If I didn't have the other stuff before it, I'll be okay. Let me block these. If I didn't have, oh, I didn't mean to run it. Let's say I didn't have this one. I wasn't asking for the radius. Let me block that. Now, if I didn't have that, I'll be okay. Enter the name. I type in Z-N Haddad. It's going to read Z-N Haddad as my name. And when you say type in my name, it's going to say Z-N Haddad. It reads them. There's an ignore button to ignore that value there. I'm trying to remember. I could just write C in there, and that will read the enter. Remember, if I have that stuff back in the program, it's going to take the enter as my name. I don't want it to read that as my name. I think there's a button. I think there's a key, not a button, but there's a key, cn.ignore, where I can make my own. I think it's cn.ignore. Is there an ignore key? Or getLine.ignore? I can do character, char, character junk. I'll make my own. If I do cn junk, let's see if it does it. Cn, oh, it's pointing the other direction. .5 the radius. It's waiting for me to type a character. And it took the space as a character. How about if I just go CN? I know there's an ignore button. I can Google it quickly. I'm just throwing a blank there. C++, CN ignore. Just the format for it. I just don't remember it. cn.ignore. Yep. Yep. It is cn.ignore. Let me go back. So here, once you read that, I go cn.ignore. And that will take that enter key. Uh-oh, what happened here? I wiped the whole thing. February 4th. Okay, save it. Huh. February 4th. cn.ignore. This is ignore. I know there's the ignore key.
That was right. I tried it and it worked.
cn.ignore. Hmm. My machine doesn't like me, I guess. cn.ignore. Doesn't even show up on my list of function. Oh, like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That should just take the enter and should come out and ask you to enter. Cannot open output. I'm not even open output file. Okay, let me close this one completely and reopen it. I got a lot of them open in the back there. Okay. Let me open that file. It did work for people in the class here. Every time I click, I'm like right click instead of left clicking, like where my hand happens to land. Select two. A lot of times when I don't see anything wrong with it, I copy the whole thing. I go copy this. I'll go file new because I don't see anything wrong with it.
Yeah, mine worked too.
Yep, good. All right, so it's just me. Cancel. I don't want to open it. Let me start new file. File new. And start with the new one and paste it there. And I'll call this file Save as February 4th B. Just get a different name. And let me save this one and let me run it. And now it's working. I didn't change a single thing in it. Enter the radius 5.6. It says enter customer name. Notice it took that enter key. It says ignore that. And let's write Z N Haddad. And you should see your name is Z N Haddad. Again, if you're only reading one name, like what city you live in, Springfield, then you don't have, you can use CN for that. But what happens if you live in East Longmeadow or West Springfield? Then you got a problem. So if you want to read the city, you can say character or string city here. City. And you want to read the city, we can say C out. Enter your city. CN, well, no, get line. Because if I type in West Springfield, I'll have a problem. Get line, CN, comma, city. And if you want to see the city, semicolon there. C out. Your city is up. City, let's write the city. And let's go to the next line. And now let's save it and run it. Radius is 5, I don't know. Enter your name, Z Haddad. Enter your city, West Springfield. It's going to take both them. And your city is West Springfield. So it is taking the correct name. Okay. If something is a single character, just quickly, you define that as CHAR. Like middle initial, for example. Let's say you're going to use the initial, IN initial, or CHAR, character, IN, initial. So when you want to assign a value to my initial, I can say IN equals, that's a single quotation, ZN Haddad. So if it's a character, it's a single character like A, B, N, T, and that's a single quotation. When it's a name, it's always a double quotation. So that's one way to assign a value if it's an character value. If something is defined as Boolean, that's true, false, we'll say bool. Like a US citizen, for example. And the value for that either true or false. So either true or false, lowercase, both cases. So if something is Boolean, you write bool, B-O-O-L, abbreviation for Boolean. Character, single character, you write CHAR. And that's really like for homework number 1, stuff for homework number 1. We might ask you type numbers and number 1, number 2, find the sum of them. You go sum equals num1 plus num2, you know. Any questions? I'll stop here.
When do you use the the pound include string?
That's if you're gonna do string manipulations, which we will be doing that soon, actually.
So if you do like sin just to get the name, you don't have to worry
You don't
about
have to, you don't have to use
okay,
that. But
cool,
if you want
thanks.
to do concatenation, for example, what does that mean? You have the first name, you have the last name, you want to put them together as one name. That's when you go and add here, pound include, and string. Just like if you want to do math problems, let's say you want to find the sine, the cosine, the tangent, the power, then you have to include that. You go pound include CMath. So if you want to use the power function, the sine, the cosine, you have to tell the machine, go get these pieces, include them here so I can use them. We'll be adding some of these actually. Or you want to use uh, manipulation, like you want the numbers to have 3 decimal places, set width, set precision. You have to say pound include IO manipulation, IO manip. So that's when you want to use, if you look at chapter 3, I'm sure I use IO manipulation for set the width, set the height. If you're going to read from a file, you have to say include F stream. So there's a lot of pieces we added to C. And if you want to use them, you have to include them in your program. So on the homework assignment, you have to read from a file or write to a file. So if you're going to do that on homework number 2, then you have to say pound include F stream, file streaming, reading and writing from a file, you know. Any other questions? We'll do more on Monday. I know your class is Wednesday, but on Monday, I still meet with the class. You have the invite there if you want to join us. I don't cover the same thing. I just add to the stuff. So on Monday, I'll be adding stuff there. I'll be doing probably IO manipulations.
Thank
Nope,
you.
you're welcome. I'll see you guys later. Gotta go to my doctor now.